Warning, incoming game over. Warning, incoming game over.
The Calgary Flames lose yet again. The final score, Washington Capitals 3, your Calgary Flames 1. The Capitals breaking their losing streak. And nothing like facing the Calgary Flames to get yourself back on track. Because, boy howdy, the Flames don't know how to score more than one goal. And they don't know how to play 60 minutes of hockey. Because, boy, watching the first period actually gave me some hope to this one. Watching periods 2 and 3 took that hope right away. And a reminder, folks, that this was not the Capitals that were lighting the world on fire. This was a Capitals squad that came in limping into Calgary. Hendrix Lapierre hadn't scored in 90 games since, the last time the Capitals were in Calgary. What do people want me to say here? Like, do they want me to pump the tires and pretend that this doesn't suck? The performances of the last two games and the performances since the trade of Rasmus Andersson haven't been anything other than bleak. Because I don't have the energy for that today. My only celebration comes in the fact that my cousin was selected to play one of the games at the Saddle Dome. And hey, he won a signed Nazem Kadri jersey before he gets traded. Funny how they're seeming to give those jerseys away right now. Just has to be coincidence, right? That they're giving all the Nazem Kadri jerseys away over the last few games. I get my amino acids in after a tough workout the other day too. Hey, a team that wins about as many games as the Calgary Flames do. That's a little harsh on the Calgary Flames, but hard to win games when you only score one goal. And we may have some good goaltending in Calgary, but they aren't going to stop them all. Especially considering we stared down Alexander Ovechkin and the super pest that is Tom Wilson tonight. Let's get into the recap, shall we? Calgary Flames, they actually played a pretty good first period, I thought. They get the turnover at center ice, and Morgan Frost, with a brilliant individual effort, kind of walks through a bunch of the Washington penalty killers. Obviously, the turnover right to Connor Zary in the Flames zone while the Caps were on the penalty kill didn't hurt, and a great shot, great wrister from Morgan Frost. And I came into this looking at that and saying, hey, maybe the new look power play is going to propel the Flames to do differently today. Obviously, we saw the return of Jonathan Huberdeau today back to the ice. And if we look at the lines, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Saw Morgan Frost thrust down to that fourth line because to get Pospisil back in the lineup and get Huberdeau back in the lineup, it was elected that Justin Kirkland would not be in the lineup today. So, hey, good for Frost to say, hey, I'm still going to go and play as good as I can on this power play. And, hey, Flames scored on the power play. Stranger things happen. But after that first period, where the Flames actually outshot Washington 16-8, they only mustered 10 further shots today's game. That'll kind of show you how things are going. Hendrix Lapierre, as we said, gets his first goal in 90 games. The last time Washington played in Calgary. Hey, maybe that's a guy that we should pick up if he can score in Calgary. This to Carlson and Faravari. Just a terrible line change from Connor Zary and Martin Pospisil. Frost tries to get back, and the puck just kind of pinballs right to Hendrix Lapierre, and you could see how much that motivated the Capitals. They're all gathered around this guy who, according to their broadcaster in the away broadcast, didn't just get a monkey off his back, got King Kong off his back with that goal. Nope. Blame them for saying it was that much, because you don't often see NHL players going 90 games between goals. Hey, good for him. You can tell I'm super focused, engaged on the game. And then the wheels continue to fall off. And that second period, the Flames were outshot by 17-4. And if you look at Money Puck after that goal, Flames were expected to lose this game 54% of the time. And you know what? It just went downhill from there. Let's finish it out on the recap here. As Alexei Protas gets the assist from Tom Wilson and Sordif, just Flames getting outworked. Braden Pahal, sorry, buddy. Welcome to the Wranglers. Hunter Brustevich has the wheels to get to that puck so it doesn't come out of the corner. Not getting outworked that badly. Yeah, I was super shocked to see Braden Pahal get back into this lineup. Obviously, the foot speed is not there with the Washington Capitals, allowing that slower third pairing to potentially be involved today. And Joel Hanley and Braden Pahal. It's almost like if we had a speedy left side defenseman, like a guy that the Penguins just picked up, that wouldn't be so bad, because then maybe you can use the low foot speed of Braden Pahal, and then you have this speedier guy to get back and cover for some of that. But no, we don't have that. Daniil Maramanov, thank you for your services, and thank you for your services to Team Tank. And then Nazem Kadri, he has an assist in the game today, not officially, but he turns the puck right over and allows Alex Ovechkin to score in what could very well possibly be the last game that Alex Ovechkin plays at the Saddledome. Saw lots of grade 8 jerseys, lots of people getting their last chance to see the greatest goal scorer that hockey has ever known in his last potential game in Calgary. We don't feel the same about Sidney Crosby because he does have a contract going in next year. We don't know what the future holds, especially with some of the statements that have been made by the people in the know around Alexander Ovechkin maybe going back home to play in Russia. Who knows? We'll see. That would be all she wrote. Washington 3, Calgary 1. Another listless, uninteresting 40 minutes of hockey from your Calgary Flames. And I'll change my period structure up here because I was going to talk about the Cadre rumors, but we'll close out with that one today. Let's get into period number 2. And as we do, if you like this stream, if you like the Calgary Flames, if you are beaten into submission and Stockholm Syndrome like this team, like I am, please go hit like. Check out our shorts. We've been doing, trying to get more and more of them out as we continue on. And I've chipped my... But yeah, if you're liking what we're doing, if you're liking the shorts, please make sure to like, subscribe, as we continue to try and grow local sports coverage. But we truly are back into the days where chat GPT can be generated. And if it's not chat GPT, then I don't know what, because it keeps drawing from things that are bad and trying to rephrase them in a way that our puny human minds can handle. Because what has never worked for long extended periods for the Calgary Flames is putting Nazem Kadri with Jonathan Huberdeau. Has never worked, but yet we're going to insist on putting them back together with Matt Coronado, who finally got off Michael Backlund Island, only to be put with the one worse combination that it could have been. Like, if I had to wish anything for Matt Coronado, it's hopefully he has a good sports therapist. So that's our line one, as much as I want to label any of these lines line one. Maybe it's line 3A. Line 3B, or the one that has Captain Michael Backlund on it, was to start the game, Igor Sharangovich, Michael Backlund, and Joel Farabee. And this line somewhat makes sense. Somewhat. I don't mind having Farabee and Backlund together. The two people that are more defensive forwards on this team. And then, hey, Igor Sharangovich has to play somewhere. And he's kind of been the hottest Calgary Flames, so I guess you put him with the guy that, you listen to, Derek Wills, is the best center on this team and the one that is on our number one line right now. I don't know about how much that played in today. Then your third line is your let's just go skate a million miles an hour line. Connor Zary, the 19-year-old Matt Gridden, and Martin Pospisil as he returns from injury. In some ways, that makes sense. But, number one, I don't think Connor Zary is a center at the NHL level for any successful team. Martin Pospisil, as we know, is coming back from a concussion. And, hey, he ran around like a chicken with his head cut off a few times today and took a few names and numbers. And I think he stayed far enough away from Tom Wilson for my liking. And Matt Gridden, your 19-year-old who is scoring threat at every level except the NHL, it would appear. Yeah, and then you're dressing Ryan Lomberg every night of the week because you are the Calgary Flames. You're playing Adam Klapka because he's shown something this year. And he gets tossed out of this game. Softest 10-minute misconduct I think I've ever seen in the NHL. I understand the officials were trying to keep control of the heat of this game, but if getting tapped on the back lightly with your stick is going to harm super pest Tom Wilson, I've got some oceanfront property in Leduc to sell you. Yeah, and bringing Braden Hall into this game, I don't understand that. It's not a team you're going to out-intimidate because it's Alexander Ovechkin and 3 auto-generated lines out of EA Sports. And Tom Wilson. I just don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand the methodology, the reason this team is playing this awfully, why the coaching staff seems to shuffle everything around as frequently as they are, trying things that have never worked before and trying to shove them back together. Like, I don't understand why Kadri and Huberdeau are on the same power play unit, other than they make the most money combined. Maybe that's why you have to keep them in. You take out Hunter Brustevich and think Zach Whitecloud is going to run your second power play unit. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I've got the do it for him with me. And, like, as I said to start this year, I knew this was going to be a rebuild. I knew there was going to be pain. I knew there was going to be... I knew that coming into this. I bought into it. I understood the bill of sale. I wanted games to be excited. I didn't want to dread watching games the way I am right now. And this is not a way I have felt about the Calgary Flames ever as a fan. Where I even liked watching games coached by Daryl Sutter. I don't enjoy watching Calgary Flames games right now. I'm kind of upset that I'm going to the game on Sunday for my birthday. I wouldn't say upset. I'm just not as excited as you think a hardcore fan should be. Because, like, at least in the Daryl Sutter era, we had the stars of Kachuk and Goudreau, and to a lesser extent, Monahan, and to a lesser extent, Elias Lindholm. We had players who I felt excited to go and watch every single night, regardless of the coaching staff. We do not have that as a fan base right now. I am not getting hyped to go and watch Nazem Kadri go get his 20 minutes of cardio out there. I'm not excited to go watch Mackenzie Weegar be a -2 on a good night. I'm not excited to watch Jonathan Huberdeau be a -2 in his return from injury. Do I like seeing Matt Coronado and Connor Zori? Sure, sometimes. Do I enjoy seeing Dustin Wolf slowly turning into a ghost of his former self? Because he's just being driven into the ground because he's playing more games than every other goaltender in this league, where the tandem has taken over the goaltending style, where you can't just have one goaltender or you run them into the ground. I just I I don't know where you go from here. No, I do. And that'll be our talking points for the third period here. Because Nazem Kadri's time in Calgary has to be done. It's got to be over, folks. Like Darren Dreger said on Barn Burner that he's turning 36. He wants to go win a Stanley Cup, and people who are closer to that need to make it happen. And I know there's a lot of noise saying that Toronto needs to bring Nazem Kadri back to get this team back into it mentally. Toronto doesn't have the assets. I really hope that we don't trade him to Colorado, because that's going to be the 32nd pick of this draft. I don't think there's anybody that's beating the Colorado Avalanche unless the Colorado Avalanche absolutely implode and have all kinds of injuries. We're not there. Nazem Kadri has quit on this team. Jonathan Huberdeau has proved that his time in Florida was a statistical outlier. The fact of the matter is, nobody on this team wants to play hockey. In fact, I would have rather us dress the guys that they sent out for the Shoresy Classic. All of those guys, those maybe AJHLers that they trotted out to play against the Flames alumni. And hey, good on them for drawing 8,000 people to the Saddledome, because you watched hockey that actually was fun. Unlike anything that we have seen from this Calgary Flames squad in the year 2020. And by the way, the Avalanche may be getting desperate. They fall to 3-4-2 in their last 9 after losing to Philly today by a score of 7-3. So hey, maybe we can get a boatload of assets and young and up and coming guys. And hey, maybe we get a couple of guys that have the ear of a certain defender that's born in Calgary, because he's agent soon. But let me live on the hopium here. But man alive, it's tough. Like, don't really understand how we can pretend to talk about anything else about this other than Kadri needs to be gone. Coleman needs to be gone as soon as he's healthy. I think White Cloud needs to be flipped as part of those deals to try and get that pot sweetened a little bit. Boy, if anyone's willing to take on Nazem or Jonathan Huberdeau's contract, I think he needs to be sent on the soonest flight out of town as he can. Hell, I'm at the point where I've been looking at what the buyout would be looking like to have Jonathan Huberdeau not play on this team next year. Will the Flames ever do that? Fuck no. But boy, I think that needs to be a consideration at this point. Because I guess that will be my question to you, Flames fans, as we head on into overtime. Would you take dead cap over playing whatever Jonathan Huberdeau has been this season? Let's open that up. Let's look at Puckpedia's buyout calculator. I could go to cap wages. Theirs is a little bit better. But let's buy out Jonathan Huberdeau. You would be paying cap out. You'd be paying him to the tune of $800,000 every year until 2035. So if we bought out Jonathan Huberdeau, we'd only be getting $200,000 in savings for the next season. For the next 2 seasons. You'd then get approximately $2 million in savings for the 28-29 season. And then it would go back down to that 200,000 figure. And then you'd save approximately $4 million on his final year in 2030-20. It's rough. Like, I think I'll hit the overtime button because I think we're pretty much done with this one. There's not a ton that I think we need to talk about, and obviously a lot of our friends aren't here today with us. But yeah, it really does feel like buying out Jonathan Huberdeau is the answer at the end of the season. Like, I understand what Brad Trevling was trying to do with that signing, was trying to bring in a superstar because you're losing your 2 stars to free agency and one won't re-sign because you couldn't sign Jonathan Gaudreau in time. Fuck! I apologize about my language, but the mismanaging of assets that this team has had for nearly a decade is starting to get to me, folks. But hey, the Flames deserve to win this game 30% of the time, according to Money Puck. Using Money Puck yet again, we will go down to look at the Calgary Flames playoff odds, and Murray Edwards' dream fallen down to only a 6.1% chance, according to Money Puck. You have to remember that they said this on the broadcast. Hey, the Flames only have 1 regulation win less than the Vegas Golden Knights. If regulation wins mattered and gave 3 points, sure. They don't. Points are all that matters. Vegas has got a lot more of those than we do. And I think that might be the last we've seen the NHL for Braden Bahal. Comes in, he's a -1 tonight. Of course, Mackenzie Weegar a -2, playing 22 minutes. Joel Hanley struggled in his 13 minutes. But this isn't the last we see of the Washington Capitals. We will see them when we head down on that Eastern Conference road swing in March. Of course, there is more games. Game 52 comes up on Sunday. Anand Unnithan will be here for the post game for that show. I'll be back in a few weeks. Have my birthday on Monday. Happy birthday to me. And we will see where this Calgary Flames team goes as Team Tank continues to roll its way through the station. Another lackluster performance from the Calgary Flames. They fall 3-1 to Washington Capitals.